university and the war. To the American whose idea of college life is colored by Hollywood and football, the university probably seems poorly equipped for the hard fact of total war. It is true that the university is normally a peaceful place where the arts of peace are learned and practiced. Autumn walks quietly there for fear of disturbing a dreamer. Spring comes eagerly and a little self-consciously, knowing that young people are waiting. But the university has a good memory. Its business is to remember things that must not be forgotten if civilization is to continue. In its library, the university keeps the accumulated wisdom of man. Only yesterday, the university was reading about war in a book, enjoying peace with a book, when across the printed page fell the crooked shadow of stern reality. Yet there was a war before this war, and the university survived it. Because that war was fought for values which universities teach and preserve, thousands of students left the peaceful halls and bore arms for their country. The record of their service is kept in books and also in bronze, but these are more tributes than reminders. The university remembers. Yes, the university remembers. Now, for instance, look at this familiar scene. It's a Wednesday morning, any Wednesday morning during the school year. The time is nearly 11 o'clock, and these students have only a few minutes to get to class. But look. This is unposed. This is the real thing. For more than 20 years now, every Wednesday at 11, the busy human beings who are the heart of the university, most of them youngsters born after the last war, stop wherever they are and stand in silent remembrance of unseen comrades who died that America and the spirit of free inquiry might live. This is tradition. The university is the home of tradition and the home of memory. It is also the home of sport, of competition and friendly rivalry. But Saturday afternoons in the crisp air of autumn, it remembers the country that protects it and salutes the flag that stands for freedom. November 22nd, 1941, the big game. Then 2 weeks later, December the 7th, the big game. So war bursts upon the quiet campus of the university, but war did not catch the university unprepared, not this time. There are books on explosives along with volumes of Shakespeare in the library of a great university. There are furnaces and molten metals, along with courses in fine arts for the trained hand and the quick eye. The university has a complex, busy, many-sided life, and no picture can show you more than a part of it. You can see strange sights on a university campus if you look beyond the classrooms, if you open closed doors. Let Hitler wonder who this man is. Let Hirohito puzzle about a professor in a helmet. Hitler had fewer than 10 years to get Germany ready for conflict, but for several whole centuries, the university has been preparing for exactly this kind of a war. For this is a war of science and mechanics and ideologies. The university didn't ask for such a war and didn't want such a war, but it was ready with its unique resources when the challenge came. Today, scientific and technical knowledge is military power. And today, the calm voice of the university speaks with a new authority. Its experts in history and geography and political science feed their knowledge to the people. Its psychologists and mechanics labor in their laboratories. Its specialists prepare young men for aviation. Its scientists take on an ever-increasing amount of confidential research. Part of its faculty go to important posts in Washington. New courses are introduced into the curriculum. Old courses are adapted to immediate demand. The whole program is accelerated. The war is here, and the university is in it. Aviation, the wings of war. Everyone, from graybeards to children, is air-minded today, and so is the university. Here's a new kind of classroom. You're looking at a link trainer and at a student who wants to fly. This trainer is exactly like the cockpit of a plane, and it's used by the university for both teaching and research. In it, the future pilot can take off, climb to a given height, spin, dive, fly blind, and even land at a given spot on the map, all without actually leaving the ground. If the student makes a mistake, he saves his neck, and the Air Corps saves a plane. Flying is on a scientific basis today, and it offers special problems which university experts are studying. This part of a modern university's campus is bounded on the east by Berlin, on the west by Tokyo. The United States Air Force wants hundreds of thousands of new pilots, and the university is helping to provide them. Students first take ground school courses in the old-fashioned classroom, and then they go to this latest of laboratories where there's plenty of fresh air. You're looking at a flying instructor of the future, or a future commercial pilot. He's learning now with the help of Uncle Sam in the American university, but it won't be long before he'll have his chance in a pursuit plane or a flying fortress. Here we go, ready to take off. These young fellows give a new meaning to the phrase, higher education. For in today's curriculum, in a world at war, the sky's the limit. The university, with both scientific research and practical training, intends to keep them flying. In a time of national and personal crisis, the university also extends a helping hand to the young man who wants to keep his feet on the ground. The Reserve Officers Training Corps. Everyone knows about this contribution which the universities make to the national defense. The older brothers of these future officers are now leading our armies on 5 continents. There's more to being a good officer than learning how to march. It takes brains and training to make the grade today. Modern war means physics. Modern war means mathematics. Modern war means engineering. Marching will still get you there, but in this war, the trained mind gets there faster. Indeed, the formula learned in the university classroom may make the difference between victory and defeat out on the firing line. Because our country now recognizes that a university training is actually a military asset, the tragic dilemma of many intelligent young Americans has finally been resolved. For a time, many high school seniors and college students were uncertain whether to enlist immediately or carry out their original plans for an education. Today, a wise government has made that decision easier, for different branches of the armed services now have programs whereby the worthy student can enlist and then, after induction, continue his planned education as a basic part of his preparation for active duty. The Secretaries of War and Navy declare that such students will be doing the job their country wants them to do. In this war, securing a university education means performing one's full duty in the war effort. Many lessons learned have an immediate practicality in military training. From the Signal Corps classroom, ROTC students go to the field to put what they've learned into practice. Here's a portable switchboard, and here's a radio generator. These boys are getting plenty of valuable experience and exercise, some of which is lots of fun, like using a portable radio or walkie-talkie. Yes, the university cooperates with the Army in countless ways. There's not only this elementary training for students, like learning to build a pontoon bridge. There's also more advanced technical training for hundreds of officers from the regular armed forces who come to the university because the university has a faculty of experts. Superficially, the university at war may look no different from the university in peace, but there are signs for those who can see. The senior may graduate straight into the Army today. Graduation 1943 style, with the governor, the president of the university, and the ROTC commanding officer handing out commissions. The university is a house of a million gadgets, a paradise for the youngster who likes to make things go with his own hands. Electrical engineering with motors and generators enough to go around. Mechanical engineering with machines driven by steam, gasoline, and what have you. Chemical engineering, another of the many classrooms vital to a country fighting a mechanized war. The nation today needs people who know. The university student can learn from actual experience the uses of all important machines. Some amazing equipment is to be seen on a university campus. This dainty bit of machinery, for example, is the cyclotron, or atom smasher, and it weighs only 80 tons. With it, in time of war, the university produces radioactive materials important to medical research. And here's the cyclotron control panel. The laboratory is really another kind of shop where students with microscopes and other equipment explore the mysteries of the seen and unseen world. This is the electron microscope, which magnifies 20,000 or more diameters. In a university at war, the best laid plans of mice and men go off the rye, but the lowly mouse and harmful insects and other such members of the university community will be used in experiments that may save thousands of lives. Scientific research in wartime is not all spent on weapons of destruction. The university's colleges of medicine and dentistry, its schools of optometry and nursing, are all contributing to the war effort, along with the College of Pharmacy. Among the enemies most feared in wartime is influenza. These eggs are being inoculated with the influenza virus and equipped with tiny windows so that the bacteriologist can observe what happens inside. Through other windows, the university looks at other important work. Welding is a vital job today, and you can study it along with music or botany if you have the inclination. Indeed, there is endless variety in the offerings of a large university which stands in a troubled world as the living symbol of free inquiry. The university declared war on the Nazi ideal from the start, for the closed mind is its immemorial enemy. The university is a little world in which you may hear and learn the languages of many nations. Language is a weapon. That is what you will see written in French, Spanish, German, Russian, and Japanese. In time of war, the soldier needs to know the language not only of his allies, but also of his enemies. This is a global war, and the language departments of the university take on a new importance, even offering courses in Russian and Japanese. As a matter of fact, many non-scientific departments of the university have a new usefulness in wartime, as we shall see. Talking about languages, let's not forget English. In peacetime, to be misunderstood can be embarrassing. In wartime, it can be fatal. Can you read this? It says, language is a weapon. Art in a nation at war has its uses as well as its beauties. And propaganda has found an even wider audience through the radio. The university has its own radio station, and it offers a variety of courses in the special techniques of broadcasting. In modern war, language is a weapon hurled invisibly through space. Modern war is also a gigantic business, and the university prepares men and women for the thousands of clerical and executive and research jobs involved. During the past year, many new courses have been introduced, and many old ones adapted to wartime demands. Navigators are urgently needed today, and students of camouflage with original ideas are as welcome in the Army as sharpshooters. And women have their place, too, in the war effort. Here's one actually teaching men students about airplane motors. But this teacher, too, is doing a tremendously important job in a nation at war. For after all, we're fighting to make the world a decent place for these young citizens to be. From nursing to nutrition, the university offers a variety of training for women who want to serve their country in wartime. Knowledge plus food equals health, as the blackboard of this home economics classroom reminds us. Food constitutes a major problem in a nation at war, and the university has long been preparing for such an emergency. This is also part of a modern university's campus. And here is research on wheels, an outdoor laboratory on the university farms. Between this tractor and combine is a dynamometer which measures the force expended in a given amount of work, while these students are measuring the yield of a given plot of ground. Truly, there is no phase of agronomy, animal husbandry, dairy technology, horticulture, or rural economics that does not vitally concern the university. All problems of the production, the processing, and the distribution of food are carefully studied, and the results passed on to farmer and manufacturer without charge. This is the dynamometer you were seeing in action just a moment ago. Scientific apparatus in a field is symbolic of the university's College of Agriculture in wartime, for 150 members of its faculty are permanently off the campus, serving the public. These are typical scenes in a university which has dedicated itself to solving the vast problems of national health. By the way, it's a classroom, not a butcher shop. Health, of course, is more than a matter of food or incidental exercise, though these students get both. Health in wartime means intelligent direction, such as one gets under the university's physical education program. In order to develop future commandos or rangers, the university toughens the muscles of tomorrow's fighting men. In order to develop efficient workers in a nation at war, the university insists that all its students keep physically fit. In competitive sports, we Americans have long shown that we can take it, and now in the deadly competition of total war, our endurance and fortitude and stamina face a new challenge. Women, too, must keep in top physical condition, for healthy men and women are hopeful men and women. In wartime, health is a matter of national importance. The university recognizes these facts, and it recognizes some other facts, too. The university knows that this is a war of machines, but turret lays cannot think. The metal seizure apparatus moves with stirring rhythm, and rhythmic like a heartbeat is an engine valve control. But marching men are not machines. They laugh and weep and wonder. The pulse of human nature is a force as yet unharnessed. The dreams of men cannot be caught on any oscillograph. Sorting machines can classify facts about people, but the human heart does not revolve in a constant temperature tub. This is a technical war, yes, but what are these future technicians to believe? Strong bodies and trained hands can win battles, but can they win happiness or wisdom? They can enforce justice, but alone they cannot find it. They can gain liberty, but alone they cannot deserve it. Young men in a free country ask questions, and it is the university's business to help them find the answers. Not the crooked answers of propaganda, not the inflexible answers of a totalitarian state, but the free, honest answers sought by intelligent men and women in a democratic society. The university is unique among all war agencies in the nation by its unified attention to both skills and ideas. In wartime, it helps to keep alive the values for which we are fighting, while doing its share to help win the fight. The university remembers that peace must always follow war, and it knows that if wars are to be prevented in the future, the peace must be not only just, but also reasonable. In the classroom, the great lessons of history are taught to those who will make tomorrow's history. Here they are, today's students, tomorrow's leaders. Do you see the face of someone you know, someone who looks familiar? Let me tell you what the university sees here. Let me tell you what the teacher of this class sees here. This is the face of an American. These are the faces of a proud new people. From 100 national and racial stocks they have come, into the melting pot that makes strong their bodies and makes keen their minds. You are looking now at voters. You are looking at those who will cast ballots, who will determine national policy when this war is ended. You are looking at citizens of a free country who have recently learned that freedom must be earned and fought for before it can be appreciated. Look these people over. Study their faces carefully. They are preparing tomorrow. And whom are they listening to? To this teacher, do you think? No, they are looking at one man. But they are listening to 1,000 men, living and dead. Voices of dead poets and dead statesmen echo and re-echo in the halls of a university. Out of the past, out of books, out of the silent mouths of blind singers, comes timely counsel for the troubled present. They also serve who only stand and wait. War has brought a new challenge to the schoolrooms of America. Intellectual liberty and common decency are threatened by our enemies. But proud to serve under the flag of freedom, the university accepts the challenge.